Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, Roland, and how do you pronounce your name?
Roland,
Kel?
it's fine.
Roland and Kel?
Kiev,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Kel?
Okay.
My
So
name
we
is
got
Connor.
Connor and Chris. Hi. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we run a metal rock podcast and YouTube channel, and we've been doing interviews with bands. And so, thank you guys for joining this interview.
Sure.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yep. So why don't we get started by having you guys talk about your roles in the band?
Yeah, you can start if you want.
Sorry, what about the band? I didn't get the words before band.
Your roles. So what instrument you
Roll.
play?
I now got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, one question is the sound that you hear from my microphone. Is it all right, or should I use a headphone? Is it cool?
You're
It
good.
sounds very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no feedback, right? That's important.
You're
Okay,
good back.
All right. Yeah. What about my role? I'm the lead singer, and I also play electric guitar, but not all the time. So some songs I do, but some songs I don't.
Right.
Yeah, my position is just chopping the wood, you know, using the sticks. But yeah, I'm responsible. That's my spot. Sometimes the backing vocals, but mostly I try to be on time and hold everything together.
All right. And how did the band form?
It's a long story. Not so long.
Yeah, you should start because you were the first one, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. How was it formed? Yeah, it was formed by Sebastian and me. Sebastian is not quite in yet, but he's our guitar player. We met each other in another band, and we decided to start our own project. So we start writing songs and searching for people who want to be as real musician included, and so we put this standard search things on the internet, the platforms you have where you put the announcement on. And we put papers on buildings where the rehearsal rooms are, and I was driving all over the area, like 50 kilometers by car in putting the notice on the walls, on rehearsal centers and all that stuff. And finally, it came to the point where Kier was just looking at the internet, and
Yeah.
maybe you can explain it how you found it.
Actually, I wasn't. I don't live where he lives, and also the place where. So Sebastian, the guitar player, and Roland, they actually live quite close. And my place is like, I don't know. I drive about 40 minutes by car, so it's not that close. Different town, but still in reach. But so I really just, it was by coincidence. I saw their SoundCloud profile on the internet. Yeah. I was looking for some new band stuff because my old band just kind of yeah, everyone quit, or it stopped. So I was like, man, I want to write own songs. I want to continue and write some new songs. And I was looking on a network called Backstage Pro, and I think it's maybe only a German one because it's got the German page. Yeah, and I was just scrolling through all these tons of bands. There's really a lot of bands to find, and then I saw that one. We had another working title. I think it was Stack Overflow, something from IT, but they had a cool logo. It was like a green skull with matrix numbers crossing this skull and the crossbones, like pirate logo, but with matrix numbers running through. And I thought, well, what's that stuff? Stack Overflow. I didn't hear this word either, so I checked it out, and they had this awesome SoundCloud page. Awesome because they really had 5 or 6 demos which were they had killer sound. They were the production level was very high for just demo tape. I was overwhelmed by the quality, and so I just wrote him, and it didn't take hours until we just I said, come on, give me a call, and we talked. And I mean, do you know when that feeling when like first impression tells you, yeah, well, that could just get into the right direction. So you get a smile on your face, but you don't know really don't really know each other, but you know, well, yeah, we're kind of like on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all started. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Who are the other members of the band?
First of all, I have to send some greetings out from Thomas. He is in a hospital, is our bass player, bass player, bass guitar, and he had an injury, so he cannot join the meeting. But anyway, send some greetings, say hey to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So then there is Sebastian, our guitar player, main guitar player. Also, he's mostly responsible for the songwriting and
Great
things
songwriter.
behind. Yeah, he's a really good songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He has so much ideas. He's like a real source. He spread out ideas. You're always, when I hear it, when he comes up with ideas, I'm impressed always. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many ideas and non-stop. He's just non-stop producing riffs and ideas and sending it to the guys and everyone. He wants some feedback and then he builds something around and yeah, he's a really good one.
Wow, awesome.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. So beyond what you just said, we can go ahead and talk about what your songwriting process is like. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically, it really most of the times it starts with a demo from Sebastian. So he does recording of guitar tapes first, and but sometimes he's also doing some drum loops under, or I don't. So just to show the rhythm direction it could get, and then yeah, it's always interesting what he's sending over, and yeah, everybody starts like, yeah, I can imagine doing that part on what you just did. So it's great bass and great steady bass to put some work upon. And yeah, that's basically what happens then, is that everybody makes up some ideas at home and just jams around on this track. And then we meet in the rehearsal room and we just put it all together and do some fine tuning. Sometimes we rearrange some parts and say, hey, what, you know, I think this is the chorus, but maybe it should just be a little longer, or maybe it should be shorter, stuff like that. Just doing some experimentations, but basically he always gives a very steady bass, and we put our parts on top. And what I really enjoy doing in this band, or being a member of this band, is that everybody's really open, and it's a lot of feedback, but it's always very focused feedback. So, you know, yeah, you just say what you really like about what's already there, and if you get some great ideas what could get even better or what to put on top, you just share it. And yeah, I think it works really good this way.
Currently, it's a bit confusing because the situation, we cannot meet as a band, and we are still now in the songwriting process, and we have some open projects. We are using a software where we put all our ideas in, and we have a kind of structure, how we structure the folders to put the projects in, and where you have to put your ideas in, and then you can present it to the other guys and show it. In the past, we did it once, was where everyone was included in the rehearsal room, and we started and we figured out, okay, this doesn't work so good, so let us fall back to the way like Sebastian did it in the past, just providing some riffs and maybe a bass structure, and then maybe change some arrangements or cutting parts out or adding additional parts when needed. And so it's just the work of layering stuff. You layer each one to the project, and then you have in the end the final song. So, and we meet at the rehearsal room, everybody is prepared, and it's, as Claire said, adjustment, just small pieces that you adjust to get it well done. So that's how we do it. Yeah.
How long were you guys working on Handcraft?
I don't think it was that long. I mean, for me, it went really fast because in my previous band project where I wrote own songs, we didn't have that tempo, that speed. We just I found the guys from SOUNDCLUTCH in January 2019, last year January. So beginning of the last year, started with a new band for me. It was a great year then, and we really did a lot and quick stuff. And I think we recorded the songs for Handcraft in last fall. So the songs were already written until summer, and these are just 5 of the songs that we played live. I think we played 10 or 11 songs live at the end of summer last year. So it didn't really take us half a year to write those songs, which for me personally was quite a quick time. And considering that our bass player Thomas, he joined in April, so
April or May. We are
yeah,
nearby
like 2 or 3
a
months
year.
of the whole band being together, and then we just had a set list to play live, like 10 or 11 songs. And we felt like, yeah, we should record that, and that's what the people also gave this feedback when we played live. They said, hey guys, you gotta make a record. I will buy it. Make a record and tell me when it's done. And so we were very motivated. Sorry, I'm not talking English every day. And it's a little bit late here in Germany already, but that shouldn't be the problem. But anyway, so yeah, for me it was quite a fast process recording this first EP, and so it was a great time so far.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How was the live shows you were playing with the set list? Were they going well? Was it well received?
Yeah, it was the first show was in a with closed audience, so it was not public.
Mm-hmm.
And a colleague of mine was asking me. He was just organizing for his a group of people, a small party, or just.
Was it like Schützenfest? No, what did we say?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's if you know that we have this kind of Schützenfest or
Would be like shooting party, but that's just a word for like how to explain. You know, there's people that are living in a countryside, and
Mm-hmm.
they have these like clubs where the people meet, and traditionally they really shoot the clay birds, I think maybe one may say, and that's where it comes from. And so there's still a lot of those clubs in like every small village on the country has its own club, and they just do parties to have some time to celebrate. And so that's why they were interested in having some live music, right, Roland? Wasn't it like
Yeah, exactly. And he asked me, and I said, okay, if it's close, it would be a good opportunity for us to just test it, just try it, and see how the feedback is from people that we don't know, because that's the most important. This was the most important thing of all, was that we get feedback from people we don't know. And when you get that feedback, or you get no feedback, then you have a true reaction. And it was so amazing positive from the people. We were just trying to sell some shirts. After some hours, everything was gone, so
yeah,
nothing left. It was really impressive. So the feedback
we had
was
known
really
that we
good.
would have printed some more t-shirts
Yeah.
previously, but no one was expecting that they would sell out in the first gig. And the funny thing was we played on a like how do you say that, Planwagen,
It's
you
a
know?
trailer. It's a
Yeah,
small
on a
truck
trailer,
trailer.
right?
a small truck trailer was it. So it was really a small spot.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
get the
Awesome stage,
opportunity
just
to
on a
play.
truck trailer,
Yeah.
fronting this whole what was a soccer field. It was a soccer field where we played. So we were on a trailer actually that was facing the soccer field, and I think the soccer field was in the back, and in front from the trailer there were this a station where you can buy beer and food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like a big grill party with, I don't know, 40, 50 people around, and like kind of small familiar feeling that was very made it very like familiar. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the second gig was in Duisburg. He organized it. He had some connections, and it was just a public event. And then we got also a really, really good feedback, also from people we don't know. And that, from my opinion, is that this is the most important when people are coming to you proactive and going and say to you, hey, this was perfect. We have a record. I want to buy a shirt from you guys, and you get this feedback from people you don't know. It's really impressive, and that was for us the point. We have to go to the studio, and we directly started searching for a producer in the studio, because we were focusing on doing it on a real way, not fake stuff. You know, in these days it's pretty easy to do it like with digital drums and digital tools. And we said, no, we are a real band. We have to do it in real with a real producer, a real recording room, and everything.
See.
Yeah. You remember the guy who came to us after the show and said, "Do you have to do vinyl stuff? You have to do a vinyl record, so I can buy it on vinyl because I only play vinyl at home, and I need your stuff. I want to play your stuff in my flat." And I said, "Yeah, well, dude, we gotta look like we gotta do our first record anyway, so let's start maybe with some CDs, and I'm sure we're gonna do it online because we're like in the 21st century, and vinyl, yeah, great idea, man. But let's just maybe check our costs and start off with some CDs, and then
Yeah.
just hang around on the social media, and you get to know, and just write us an email in some months, and we can check out if we're doing vinyls as well." Was a nice thought that he had.
That was really cool.
Yeah. In general, is there a strong culture for rock music in Germany? Because here in the United States, it's a little bit of an underground thing. People are always saying rock is dead. So we're just curious what the music scene is like. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the area where we live is in this North Rhine-Westphalia part of Germany. There's actually a big rock scene. Yeah. So we got rock, at least one big rock club in every big town that's around here in this area, in this whole area, and there's a lot of competition going on. It's really, as I told you when you asked how did we meet, yeah, I was looking on the internet page Backstage Pro, and it was like scrolling and never ending, and it was just like 50 kilometers circling my flat, my home
Oh,
place
wow.
where I live. And it were like 10 pages to scroll through, and that was really already filtered on what I want to do, like rock, hard rock, no metal, or I don't know, maybe I had metal, but not like reggae or something. So
Yeah.
it was already filtered, and there's a lot of competition going on, and also a lot of a big scene, so there's also fans around.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I can say is that, of course, you see that many people that you meet, like I'm a music teacher also, so I meet people who are interested in music, and many of them are not that much into rock music now. They are more like pop music, hip hop music. There's a lot of this superficial pop and hip hop stuff going on, which is like every beat is the same. Yeah, they just copy and do some auto tune. So rock music, it's there's still many that listen to it, but the number isn't that big if you compare it to the whole people that are around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm doing it for many years now. I would say 20 years. I'm doing music in bands, and it's getting less. The bands are which are around, it's getting less. When I remember at the time when I started, I mean, I had so many people, so many bands around in my village, and in these days, it's going less. It's not so popular anymore to spend time in a rehearsal room and hang around with your guys and drinking beer and partying, and but have still this main thing of what music is all about. It's not so common anymore. I don't know why, but I see it.
Hmm.
So it's a bit negative, but it gives us more a spot, a brighter
Hmm.
spot that we have and we can use. Hopefully. We will
Yeah.
see.
Right.
So obviously, you guys just stated how there are a lot of local rock bands in your area. So it is important, obviously, for you guys to get recognized to be unique. So how does SoundClutch stand out compared to all the other local bands?
I think one big benefit is that we have as a band, or that we want to point out, is that we make everything by our own. That
Hmm.
everything is done by hand, by our passion, by our idea how we want to make music, by all the things that we hear, that how we musically understand how to write music and how to make music. That's the most important thing. And mm, our taste in the music, sometimes what is currently popular is just it's copied stuff. It's like did by tools from computers. I made my own experience with other band where the producer was doing everything. Only the vocals were real, and the rest was just we
Hmm.
want to sell a product, in this way. And when you listen to that, it's not our kind of sound. We
Hmm.
want to sound like more. We are more interested. We are also interested in music from today or these days, but also in the grunge stuff and in the hard rock stuff from the
Hmm.
90s. I think you hear it in our sound.
Yes, that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. And I may say that what maybe differs a little bit, what or the 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 aspect where we differ a little bit from other bands that are like local bands and that are, as I said, there's still a lot of competition going on. Many guys just play instruments and form together and yeah, we're a band and let's do some stuff. How we differ maybe is that we all have some years of experience now and we are really passionate, and I think we all do have a little bit like mm, how to say Anspruch, um, so we're not
A
that
level
easily
or bar
satisfied. Yeah,
or
we're not
bar
that easily
that we have.
satisfied, and we're not trying to write music like punk rock stuff. Like maybe, I mean, I do like some punk rock stuff. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but not those songs like okay, three chords and that's it, and just do the
Yeah.
rhythm like standard rhythms and that's it. Yeah, solo on it, and then that's done. Um, I think it's like a more we are like a little bit more versatile. And what I personally liked when I joined the band was that there was this for for German guys. I was really overwhelmed how much groove and feeling you could really um, the whole songs were yeah, transferring, you know. And I was always looking for this kind of mm, easy groove, a groove that just works and you don't have to explain it. It's just to hear it and you immediately start to say, yeah, well, that's a laid back groove and it just flows. Yeah, it's not that steady and like calculated stuff and let's try to do something cool. It's just you hear it and I was into it, and that's a thing that I didn't find that often in the area where I live. So I said I gotta call these guys and asked them if they want to make music, and luckily they said, yeah, let's do it. So you fit in, and I said, yeah, I like you guys, so let's do it. I don't know, it's maybe like that's what we also like to say, is we try to combine this catchiness, having some catchiness in the songs,
Right.
and also not being too predictable and too superficial by what we do. So like this easy listening stuff, but also with a certain versatility in the sound and in what happens throughout a whole song. So
Hmm.
each song differs a little from the other songs. It's not just one sound and that's the whole record. I think we really try to make sure that our EP, which is like only 5 songs, still has a lot of versatility to show to the listeners.
Hmm.
So
Right.
that's what we like. We like to be a little bit more versatile.
Yeah. And do you take that same approach to writing lyrics in your songs?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you could say it like that. Um, sometimes when I would write lyrics, I wonder, is it like too specific? Is it like too much of my personal experience? And in some lyrics, I really try to um, not
Sometimes
really
you tell a
explain, but I
story.
try to
Sometimes you
sum up what I was living through in the last years, and so how I like the essence stuff that helped me to grow and get behind my problems. And I mean, everybody got some struggle in the, everyday life stuff, and you're trying to just get behind these things. And sometimes I just, when I read those lyrics now, I see that it's just, that shows how I changed over the years, and what I learned, the lessons I've learned. Sometimes it's about that, but sometimes I write lyrics that are more like one certain feeling, like yeah, just explain this kind of how to express myself when I feel just that I could be like on top of the world because I got a great feeling that day. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe you can say it's a little bit like life is, so with up and down, and it's not all the same. And I don't mind showing a little bit of my weaknesses that I was going through, because I mean that's what happens in life too. And yeah,
Sure.
good mix. I think it should work, but just make up your own mind. Check it out.
Hmm.
Right.
So you guys, on your band information you sent me, you listed some of your influences such as Alice in Chains, the grunge. Personally, when me and Chris were listening to it, we heard a little bit of some James Hetfield, Metallica vocals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I didn't hear that till now.
No, it's the
But
first time. I hear it.
okay, cool.
so with some pretty obvious influences on your band, do you guys feel like you're taking some of those influences and making something new, or is this more of a resurgence of kind of that grunge sound? Because me and Chris have talked to some bands recently who are also trying to do a resurgence of kind of the grunge sound.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I would say it's just our taste, and we have a kind of toolbox of understandings and how things should sound, how it should be arranged,
Hmm.
and that is the result of it. So we are influenced by bands like Alice in Chains. I grew up with these bands.
Hmm.
I grew up with Metallica, I remember at the time, or with Motorhead, or in all this hard rock stuff. And
Hmm.
Sebastian is more the guy who's more this. He likes Tool and this progressive
Hmm.
Progressive rock stuff,
metal
yeah.
stuff.
Also, yeah.
He's really into it, and this technical stuff, and all this influence here comes more from a more hard rock perspective. I would just say Guns N' Roses or in this
Hmm.
area. And Thomas is more like, he saw this guy from us, and he gives some experience of alt rock from the 80s. And when we put everything together, it's like, okay, we have to find our or mixture, how it works together. And this is a result. This when you listen, sometimes you have this touch of, sometimes you think, okay, it's a bit metal, it's like Metallica stuff. Somehow we're influenced really, really deep by Audio Slave or by Rage Against the Machine. Because this was a big part of my life, and I really like this groovy but understandable stuff. And when we write music, it's also that I'm always the person who says, okay, it needs to be understandable for the listener. If we go too technical, it's like it's too difficult and no one keeps listening on it and just ignoring it. So the balance, the right balance to find.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. Because when you say like Sebastian's more like the prog rock guy, and I say yeah, that's true, but there's a lot more, and because as we said earlier, he's the one who writes the bass of a song, like what groove does it have, or what kind of atmospheric sounds, and what kind of heaviness, or how aggressive does it sound, and yeah, stuff like that. And for me, when I listened to the demos, it was like, man, it could be Audio Slave doing a new album.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed listening just those demo tapes, and I thought they were great. It's just you can immediately start singing over them, and there's not really much more to do. That's the demos that were there already. So for me, it was really a big it reminded me very much of this Audio Slave style or Rage Against the Machine, yeah, and a little bit of Alice in Chains then too, yes. And if you ask what influence and what kind of bands you could like compare, I mean, that you always ask those questions. That's and I think it's nice to talk about that, because that's what musicians do, don't they? They always just take what they really like and try to combine it in a new way. Everybody is cooking with the same water, if you say so. And so funny, if you just take our record and look at the songs that we have, I should get the plastic. So for me, each song has like a certain band, or like if you consider the vocals, maybe sometimes it's a certain band, and then if you consider just immense instrumental track, maybe there's like another band that should be named in first place. And just to give you a quick idea of what I'm thinking is, for example, the Gasoline song, for me, that's absolutely an Audio Slave tune. The instrumental is very powerful and heavy and very to the point, down to the point, very straight, and a lot of energy. And I think on this track, I really was only thinking vocals, technique stuff. I was only thinking about, I was only hearing this Chris Cornell singing that song. So for me personally, I'd say that's also the vocal style which inspired me was just the Chris Cornell stuff. But I don't know if the whole product is you shouldn't compare it to that band totally. But so this would be for the Gasoline one. And for example, we got the song Holiday, which is like a more laid back, groovy tune, and chilled one, a little bit more relaxed. For me, that was like a Puddle of Mud tune. Do you know that band?
We do, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And especially the vocals that I did on that one, I was always thinking like, man, I was always hearing Wes Gantling singing this vocals when I wrote them, and when I first started checking out some melodies, it was like, yeah, that could be really, if Wes Gantling was here, I think he could do the one. And so that's how I start working on vocals and also on lyrics sometimes, but just feeling like, what would that guy do? And because I don't know, it just the idea comes to my mind, and then I start following this track, and so that's where we see where it goes. And if the guys say it's cool, they like it, then yeah, I say, yeah, let's check it out, let's rehearse it, and let's do it.
Right, absolutely. So broadly speaking, and this is a broad question, but what are your current goals for the band?
Oh, our current goals is just to reach people or touch people in some way, that they say, okay, it reminds me a bit to some stuff that I didn't heard a long time. because that is what I feel about what this band is good at, is just transporting all good handwritten rock sounds and attitudes. And that is what is our goal, to transport it, this vibe to the people out there. And the next thing is just playing live, going out, because now we have this bad situation with the Corona stuff. We had no rehearsals since, I don't know, 2 months. And we had some gigs planned, they were scheduled, but then they were quitted and one was moved, and we had a lot of conversations with some venues to play there, but everything is stopped, so it's really bad to us in this way. But in a long-term view, it's just bringing us to a next level, playing gigs all over Germany and going out and trying to play as much as possible. And then the next step is just recording a full-length album and going out to have a full-length album. And just, I mean, in these days, it's not possible to do it for living. You know, it's really hard, and every one of us has his own job and we have families. We are grown people now, and but it's an intensive hobby. It's like, I would, to the amount of times I invest in this band, it's like I compare it to someone who's just training themselves to go to Olympic Games. You know, it's like this kind of intensive, the amount of time that you invest. You need a partner who respects this in the effort that you put in, because my point of view, or my 3 things in my life, is my family, my music, and my work. With the work, I pay the 2 other things, but in total, I have these 3 things, and I need to balance this part, and that works in some way really good. And Kiel and me and everyone in the band is just putting so much effort in it, and we are on a high, fast pace. You say fast pace? It's fast pace. I mean, after a half year, we directly went to the studio and made this EP. We had, after, I don't know, 3 months or 4 months, we had a set list of 9 or 10 songs. Why not going out and pushing it?
Yeah, try to keep it up, try to keep it at a fast pace, but life goes up and down. So like sometimes there is Corona. Now you have this Corona season kind of thing, and we don't know how things will change, but they definitely will. And what we were planning to do was to record a live session, but then still the lockdown went on, so we couldn't even meet to just play as a band, not with viewers, but we couldn't meet. We did not only some, we did quite a lot of songwriting in that time. Like, everybody was sitting at home and let's do some home recording. And so there's this already like, I don't know, 5 or 6 new songs that came up in that Corona period, and we also had some new songs previously to that. So I think we're just gonna continue writing songs and rehearsing them, and then hopefully soon checking out which ones will get a good feedback live, to kind of sort out which kind of direction fits best for us and the audience. But we're always gonna do what we want to, so we're always gonna just write some new stuff, and we don't have boundaries. Then I think that's what's important for a band, to stay healthy as a band, because otherwise you just I mean, it's a creative process. You want to express yourself, and you shouldn't set too much boundaries there. You have to, of course, everyone needs some structure to get to the point at the end of the day, but you also want to express yourself, so you should always be open to experiment and touch the new. And that's what we're trying to keep up also, but at the same time, we're trying to be very productive and very stay into a direction. So it's always an act of balance that we do. But if you ask, like, what are the next goals? One goal you didn't tell them, Roland, we're gonna do a music video soon. We're gonna start recording that one. for the first song that's called Gasoline. So there's gonna be some fire in this video, obviously. But not only like on the superficial aspect. Yeah, Gasoline, you gotta do some fire stuff. It's really you can really do some great scenes if you check out the lyrics. There's like I'm dancing with the flames to set this frozen heart on fire. It's like that comes from a time when I was like a little down for a while, and then I just found some new revelations for myself that helped me to get my good mood back, and to get my straightness back, and to get where I want to be. And definitely a big part of this was also making music with those guys, and that's why I really love this tune Gasoline, because it's just pure raw energy that's not no compromises, and just let it all out. And then finally you get to know that that's what you need to survive. Yeah, if you say so.
Right. Well, guys, I think that is all of our questions. Do you guys have any final comments or questions for us?
Oh, I would say, first of all, thanks for having us. And we really appreciate it. And everyone who's just watching this, get in touch with the EP. You can find it on Spotify, on Amazon, everywhere. Just listen to it. It's my personal opinion to this is that the band has this, that we set the bar with the first EP after, I don't know, 5 months or 6 months to staying together, setting it on this level. Check it out. You will like it. There's a song for every situation in your life. So
all right.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So my final words would be, let's hope that this whole Corona season won't destroy the whole music industry in the long term, and let's really hope that we can get back on stage soon, because that's what we love. And the open air season is coming. Maybe we can play some open air gigs. That would be great. And guys, check out the record. Let's see if you like it. And I got one special question for you guys. Tell me if you can hear that I had another haircut, because my hair used to be this long when we made this record. And yesterday
I was smiling.
I got a new haircut because I was getting rid of all the long hair. And tell me if you hear the difference.
Oh man!
Just kidding, but just tell me, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, thanks for having us. Great talk.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Me too.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll let you know when this is up.
Yeah.
Wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah. Rock on.